Imagine waking up each morning to discover your YouTube channel has earned money while you slept, without ever having shown your face on camera. Sounds too good to be true? Perhaps you're skeptical, believing success on YouTube requires charisma, expensive equipment, or a large team. But what if none of that was necessary? In YouTube Automation, How to Start a Faceless YouTube Channel in 2025, I share the proven blueprint behind successful faceless channels that consistently generate passive income. You'll uncover the powerful strategies behind channels that operate independently of their creator's physical presence, enabling scalable content production, compounding growth, and genuine operational freedom. This book isn't about chasing viral hits or relying on sheer luck. Instead, you'll learn how to strategically position your channel, create compelling content systems, and design thumbnails and titles scientifically proven to attract clicks. Whether you're completely new to YouTube or have struggled to find traction, this guide provides clear, actionable steps to transform your channel into a thriving, automated business. Your journey towards passive income and sustainable online success starts here. Are you ready to build the YouTube business you've always dreamed of? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Faceless Money. Your phone buzzes at 3 a.m. Another notification, another view, another dollar earned while you slept. This isn't a fantasy. It's the reality for creators who've cracked the code of faceless YouTube automation in 2025. But here's the brutal truth. Most people building faceless channels are doing it completely wrong. They think faceless means effortless. They believe AI tools equal automatic success. They're chasing yesterday's hacks while tomorrow's winners are building systems that compound. The result? Months of grinding with zero monetization, reused content flags that kill revenue streams, and the soul-crushing realization that they're stuck in the same feast or famine cycle they tried to escape. This chapter is your hard reset. We're going to define what a faceless YouTube channel actually is in 2025, why this model dominates traditional approaches, and most importantly, how to build one that generates real money without burning you out or getting you demonetized. The faceless advantage that everyone misunderstands. A faceless YouTube channel isn't just about staying off camera. It's about building a scalable media asset that works independently of your physical presence. Think of it as the difference between owning a restaurant where you cook every meal versus owning a franchise system that operates profitably whether you're there or not. The real power lies in 3 core advantages. First, scalable output. When you're not tied to being on camera, you can batch produce content, hire voice talent, and create multiple series simultaneously. Your bottleneck shifts from your personal availability to your system's efficiency. Second, asset compounding. Every video becomes a piece of intellectual property that can generate revenue through ads, affiliates, sponsors, and product sales. Unlike personal brand content that's tied to your face and personality, faceless content can be licensed, sold, or scaled into multiple channels. Third, operational freedom. You can hire editors, writers, and voice artists without worrying about brand consistency issues. Your channel becomes a business that can run without you, not a personal brand that dies when you take a vacation. But here's where most creators go wrong. They confuse faceless with effortless. They think automated tools will magically create engaging content. They believe they can copy-paste their way to success. This is exactly backwards. The 3 deadly mistakes killing faceless channels. The first mistake is treating automation as a magic bullet. Too many creators think AI voice generators and automated editing tools will do the heavy lifting. They pump out generic compilations with robotic narration and wonder why their retention rates hover around 20%. The algorithm doesn't reward volume, it rewards satisfaction. A single well-crafted video that keeps viewers engaged for 8 minutes will outperform 10 mediocre videos that lose viewers in 30 seconds. The second mistake is ignoring packaging science. Your title and thumbnail aren't creative expressions, they're conversion tools. When your click-through rate sits below 4%, you're invisible to the algorithm. When your thumbnails are cluttered with text and competing focal points, you're fighting a losing battle against creators who understand visual hierarchy and mobile-first design. The third mistake is operating without a scoreboard. Most creators upload videos and hope for the best. They don't track first 30 seconds retention. They don't maintain kill scale lists. They don't map RPM by topic. Without data, you're flying blind. You can't optimize what you don't measure. What victory actually looks like. When you build a faceless channel correctly, you create a durable media asset that throws off cash and options. Your weekly publishing schedule drives rising average view duration and click-through rates. You get approved into the YouTube Partner Program, then attract sponsors, then launch your own products. Eventually, you have licensing opportunities, second channel potential, or a saleable asset. More importantly, you achieve strategic time freedom. Your SOP-driven team handles execution while you focus on positioning and partnerships. Stress falls while creative quality rises. You're no longer trading time for money. You're building systems that generate money while you sleep. The compounding credibility is real. Brands start reaching out to you, proving your audience fit. Your audience trusts your analysis and buys your recommendations. The market views your channel as the category's "explain it to me" authority. This isn't luck. It's the inevitable result of consistent, valuable content delivered through optimized systems. The cost of inaction. If you don't fix these foundational issues, you'll waste months of effort with zero monetization. Reused content flags will kill your revenue streams. Appeals will fail because you can't prove transformation. You'll burn out making videos that nobody finishes watching. Sponsors will ignore you because your metrics don't justify their investment. Worse, your competitors will set the standard while you chase scraps. They'll own the angle you wanted. They'll train your audience's expectations, making you appear generic by comparison. Their thumbnails will become the visual schema for your niche, making yours look off-brand and unprofessional. 5 years will vanish. You'll still be tinkering with tools and tactics while nothing compounds. You'll remain stuck in feast or famine freelance work, watching other creators build the freedom you dreamed about. The opportunity cost isn't just money, it's the life you could have built. The importance of a mentor. While this book will give you the complete system for building a successful faceless YouTube channel, there's something that can dramatically accelerate your results: having the right mentor. A mentor who's already walked this path can help you avoid the costly mistakes that derail most creators and compress years of trial and error into months of focused execution. The difference between learning alone and learning from someone who's already achieved what you want is like the difference between wandering through a maze blindfolded versus having someone guide you straight to the exit. They can spot your blind spots, help you prioritize the right activities, and give you the confidence to make bold moves when others hesitate. If you're serious about fast-tracking your success, you can find the link to my Mentors program in the first link in the description. Full disclosure, this is an affiliate link, which means I earn a commission if you decide to join. But I share it because it taught me the exact system that allowed this channel to grow and monetize so quickly. Your first victory blueprint. By the end of this book, you'll achieve 3 concrete outcomes. First, you'll choose a sustainable, profitable niche and write a 1-sentence about promise. This isn't vague positioning. It's a crisp statement of who you serve, what result you deliver, and how you do it differently. You'll eliminate competing directions that cause drift and create a banner and icon aligned to your promise. Second, you'll plan and ship your first 3 videos using a policy-safe approach. These won't be random uploads. They'll be hook-first scripts with open loops and proof points. You'll generate 10 title options and 3 thumbnail concepts per video, then select the strongest combinations. Most importantly, you'll run a pre-published policy checklist and maintain an originality dossier that protects your monetization. Third, you'll install a lightweight scoreboard that tracks what matters: click-through rate, first 30 seconds retention, average view duration, and views per impression. You'll maintain a kill-scale list with clear double-down rules. You'll log RPM by topic and lean into high performers while retiring losers. The strategic sequence that wins. This process follows a specific order because each step enables the next. Positioning power comes first because it directs every other decision. Your angle determines topic selection and sub-niche RPM potential. Your brand promise trains audience expectations. Without clear positioning, your thumbnails drift and your scripts ramble. Ideas drive packaging, which is why your content system comes next. A strong hook emerges from a strong idea. Packaging converts attention into watch time, and watch time fuels algorithmic discovery. You can't optimize what you haven't clearly defined. Packaging defines production, which leads us to your click magnet strategy. A clear promise creates a clear script, which enables a clear edit. Policy-safe transformation must be planned, not accidental. Monetization sits on top of satisfied viewers, not the other way around. This sequence isn't theoretical. It's based on how YouTube's recommendation system actually works and how successful creators actually build their businesses. The winner's mindset versus the loser's trap. Winners ship, measure, and refine. They respect platform policies and document their originality. They own their hooks and protect their intros. They run weekly OODA loops, observe, orient, decide, act, treating their channel like a laboratory where every upload teaches them something valuable. Losers copy, spam, and blame. They say, the algorithm hates me, while running no scoreboard and following no plan. They think AI will do it for me while producing uncanny voiceovers with zero transformation value. They believe more uploads will fix everything without addressing fundamental click and retention issues. The difference isn't talent or luck, it's approach. Winners treat YouTube as a skill-based game with learnable rules. Losers treat it as a lottery where effort and strategy don't matter. You're about to learn the rules. You're about to build the systems. You're about to join the winners who understand that faceless doesn't mean effortless. It means strategic, scalable, and systematized. The next chapter, Positioning Power, will show you how to choose a lane you can dominate for years. But that's just the beginning of what's possible when you stop chasing hacks and start building assets. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2, Positioning Power. There's a YouTube channel that makes $50,000 per month explaining legal cases. Another earns 6 figures breaking down financial scandals. A third generates massive sponsor interest by analyzing sports trades through a data lens. What do they all have in common? They didn't start by chasing the biggest niches or copying successful channels. They started with something far more powerful and far more misunderstood. They discovered positioning power. Not the fluffy marketing concept you've heard before, but the razor-sharp strategic advantage that separates channels that scale from channels that struggle. Most creators think positioning is about picking a niche. They're wrong. Positioning is about owning a problem so completely that viewers can't imagine getting that solution anywhere else. This chapter will show you how to claim your lane and defend it. You'll learn why the biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong niche, it's picking no angle at all. And you'll discover the simple framework that aligns market demand with your personal energy, creating a channel you can run for years without burning out. The invisible force that controls everything. Here's what most creators don't understand. Your brain makes decisions in milliseconds based on pattern recognition. When someone scrolls through YouTube, they're not carefully reading titles and weighing options. They're scanning for familiar signals that promise value. Your positioning creates those signals. Think about it. When you see a thumbnail with a red arrow pointing at something, you instantly know it's probably clickbait. When you see clean graphics with data overlays, you expect analytical content. When you see dramatic lighting and bold text, you anticipate entertainment. These aren't accidents, they're schemas, mental shortcuts that help viewers predict what they'll get. The channels that win understand this psychological reality. They don't just make good content, they make content that fits a clear, recognizable pattern. Viewers know exactly what to expect, and more importantly, they know when to expect it. This predictability doesn't bore audiences, it builds trust and creates binge-worthy habits. But here's the trap most creators fall into. They think positioning limits their options. They worry that choosing a lane means missing opportunities. This is backwards thinking. Positioning doesn't limit you, it amplifies you. When you own a specific problem, you become the go-to solution. When you become the go-to solution, opportunities find you. The 3 positioning myths that kill channels. The first myth is that you can outwork your way to success without a clear angle. This is the spray and pray approach. Upload everything, see what sticks, then double down on winners. It sounds logical, but it's a recipe for mediocrity. Effort without angle creates commodity content. The algorithm can't recommend sameness, and viewers can't remember generic. When you lack positioning, every video becomes a new experiment. You're constantly starting from zero, building no momentum, creating no expectation. Your audience never knows what they're getting, so they never develop viewing habits. You end up working harder for worse results. The second myth is that branding doesn't matter for faceless channels. Since viewers can't see you, some creators think visual consistency and voice recognition are optional. This couldn't be more wrong. Without strong brand signals, viewers literally can't remember you. Visual memory drives suggested clicks more than any other factor. Your thumbnail style, your intro music, your narration tone, these become your signature. When viewers recognize your content in their suggested feed, they click because they trust the experience you'll deliver. Remove these signals, and you become invisible in a sea of similar content. The third myth is that high RPM niches automatically equal success. Creators see finance or real estate channels earning $20 plus RPM and think they should jump in. But here's the brutal truth. Interest mismatch kills consistency faster than anything else. If you're not genuinely curious about the topics you're covering, you won't sustain the research and analysis required for quality content. Sponsors don't just buy CPM, they buy audience fit and creator credibility. A passionate creator in a lower RPM niche often out-earns a disinterested creator in a high RPM category because their content quality and audience engagement are superior. The triangle that changes everything. The solution isn't to pick the biggest niche or copy successful channels. It's to find the intersection where 3 critical factors overlap: your genuine interests, your existing skills, and market monetization potential. This isn't just theory, it's the foundation every successful faceless channel is built on. Your interests determine sustainability. Can you research this topic for hours without getting bored? Do you find yourself naturally curious about developments in this space? Interest isn't just about passion, it's about intellectual stamina. The channels that last are run by people who genuinely want to understand their subject matter. Your skills determine differentiation. What unique lens can you bring to this topic? Maybe you have a legal background that lets you analyze business scandals differently. Maybe your data science experience helps you spot patterns others miss. Maybe your teaching background makes complex topics accessible. Your skills become your angle. Market potential determines viability. This isn't just about RPM, it's about audience size, advertiser interest, and product opportunities. A niche with passionate fans and clear pain points often beats a massive market with indifferent viewers. The magic happens at the intersection. When you find a topic you're genuinely interested in, have relevant skills for, and can monetize effectively, you've found your positioning sweet spot. This isn't settling for less, it's optimizing for long-term success. The promise that becomes your North Star. Once you've identified your intersection, you need to articulate it clearly. This is where most creators stumble. They write vague mission statements or copy competitor descriptions. Instead, you need a promise so sharp it cuts through noise and sticks in memory. The formula is simple but powerful. I help specific audience achieve specific result using unique mechanism without common pain point. This isn't marketing fluff, it's strategic clarity that guides every decision you make. The specific audience isn't everyone interested in finance. It's real estate investors who want to understand market cycles. The specific result isn't make money. It's identify undervalued properties before they appreciate. The unique mechanism isn't tips and tricks. It's data-driven analysis of demographic and economic indicators. This promise becomes your filter. Every video idea gets tested against it. Does this help real estate investors understand market cycles through data analysis? If yes, it fits your channel. If no, it goes somewhere else. This clarity doesn't limit creativity, it focuses it. Your promise also becomes your audience's expectation. When they see your thumbnail in their feed, they know exactly what value you'll deliver. This predictability builds trust, and trust builds sustainable viewership. The competitive intelligence that reveals opportunities. Before you commit to your positioning, you need to understand the landscape you're entering. This isn't about copying competitors. It's about finding gaps you can fill and angles you can own. Start by studying the top 10 channels in your space. Watch their most popular videos and identify patterns. What topics get the most engagement? What thumbnail styles dominate? What questions appear repeatedly in comments? This research reveals both what works and what's missing. Pay special attention to comment sections. Viewers often express frustration with existing content or ask questions that creators haven't addressed. These gaps become your opportunities. Maybe everyone covers the basics, but no one explains the advanced concepts. Maybe everyone focuses on theory, but no one shows practical application. Look for stylistic blind spots, too. Maybe all the channels use similar thumbnail designs or follow the same video structure. A fresh visual approach or unique format can help you stand out immediately. Sometimes the biggest opportunity isn't a new topic, it's a new way of presenting familiar information. Document everything you learn. Create a simple grid showing what each competitor does well, what they miss, and where you can differentiate. This becomes your strategic roadmap for content creation and brand development. The adjacent specificity strategy. Here's a positioning secret that most creators never discover: the power of adjacent specificity. Instead of competing head-to-head in crowded categories, you claim a narrow angle within a larger niche. You become the go-to source for a specific type of analysis or a particular audience segment. For example, instead of starting another general business channel, you might focus specifically on analyzing failed startups through a legal lens. Instead of covering all of personal finance, you might specialize in financial strategies for freelancers and contractors. Instead of general true crime, you might focus on white-collar crimes in the tech industry. This approach gives you several advantages. First, you face less direct competition because you're not fighting for the same keywords and audience attention. Second, you can develop deeper expertise because your focus is narrower. Third, you attract more engaged viewers because your content directly addresses their specific interests and needs. The key is choosing specificity that's narrow enough to own but broad enough to sustain. You want to be the undisputed expert in your micro niche while maintaining enough content opportunities to publish consistently. The pre-mortem that prevents failure. Before you fully commit to your positioning, run a pre-mortem exercise. Imagine your channel failing spectacularly in 12 months. What went wrong? This isn't pessimism, it's strategic planning that helps you avoid predictable pitfalls. Maybe you chose a niche that's too dependent on current events, and when the news cycle moved on, your audience disappeared. Maybe you picked a topic you thought you were interested in, but after 6 months of research, you're bored out of your mind. Maybe you selected a high RPM niche, but discovered the audience doesn't actually buy anything. For each potential failure mode, design a mitigation strategy. If your niche is trend-dependent, how will you pivot to evergreen content? If your interest might wane, what adjacent topics could you explore? If monetization proves difficult, what alternative revenue streams could you develop? This exercise isn't about talking yourself out of your positioning, it's about strengthening it. When you've thought through the risks and planned responses, you can move forward with confidence. The momentum markers that prove you're right. How do you know if your positioning is working? The market will tell you, but you need to know what signals to watch for. Early validation doesn't come from viral videos or massive subscriber counts. It comes from engagement quality and audience recognition. Good positioning shows up in comments. Viewers start using your language and referencing your frameworks. They ask questions that build on your previous videos rather than repeating basic concepts. They recommend your channel to others facing similar problems. Excellent positioning creates series momentum. When you launch a named series within your niche, viewers anticipate new episodes. Your click-through rates improve because people recognize your brand. Your average view duration increases because audiences trust your content quality. The best positioning attracts industry attention. Other creators start referencing your work. Potential sponsors reach out because they recognize your audience fit. Media outlets quote your analysis. You become a recognized voice in your space, not just another content creator. These signals compound over time. Each video builds on the last, creating a library of content that works together to establish your authority and attract your ideal audience. But positioning is just the foundation. Once you've claimed your lane, you need to fill it with content that keeps viewers coming back for more. The next chapter reveals the content system that transforms your positioning into a predictable pipeline of engaging videos. But the method might surprise you. Chapter 3: Content System. Netflix doesn't create random shows and hope they work. They have a content system, a repeatable process that turns ideas into binge-worthy series that keep subscribers glued to their screens. The most successful faceless YouTube channels operate the same way, but most creators never realize it. They think content creation is about inspiration, striking at random moments. They believe each video should be a unique creative expression. They're wrong. The channels that scale beyond 6 figures don't rely on creative lightning. They engineer it. They've discovered something that transforms chaotic content creation into predictable, profitable output. This chapter reveals the content system that converts your positioning into scheduled publishing. You'll learn why the most successful creators limit their options instead of expanding them, and how the right constraints actually increase your creative output. But first, you need to understand why most content strategies fail before they even begin. The willpower trap that kills consistency. Here's the uncomfortable truth about content creation. Willpower is a finite resource, and it always runs out. Every creator starts with enthusiasm and grand plans. They'll upload 3 times per week. They'll cover every angle in their niche. They'll never miss a deadline. Then, reality hits. The first few videos take longer than expected. Research becomes overwhelming. Editing drags on for days. The upload schedule slips from 3 times per week to twice per week to whenever they can manage it. Eventually, they're uploading sporadically, apologizing to their audience, and wondering why their channel isn't growing. The problem isn't lack of dedication, it's lack of system. They're trying to create content through pure effort instead of building a machine that creates content for them. The channels that win understand a fundamental principle: systems beat willpower every single time. A predictable cadence doesn't just help you, it trains your audience. When viewers know you publish every Tuesday and Friday, they start checking for your content. When you have named series that release on schedule, viewers anticipate the next episode. This predictability becomes a competitive advantage because consistency compounds suggested traffic. But here's what most creators miss. The system isn't just about scheduling. It's about creating formats so repeatable that production becomes automatic. When you know exactly what type of video you're making and how it's structured, the creative decisions become easier, not harder. The format focus that multiplies output. The biggest mistake new creators make is trying to do everything. They'll make tutorials one week, commentary the next, then switch to interviews or reaction videos. This variety feels creative, but it's actually destroying their efficiency and confusing their audience. Every format requires different skills, different assets, and different production workflows. When you constantly switch between formats, you're constantly starting over. Your editors can't develop templates. Your voiceover artist can't find a rhythm. You can't build audience expectations. The channels that scale pick 2 core formats and stick with them. Maybe it's storytelling explainers and tutorials. Maybe it's case study breakdowns and data analysis. The specific formats matter less than the commitment to consistency. This constraint doesn't limit creativity, it amplifies it. When you know you're making a tutorial, you can focus all your creative energy on making it the best tutorial possible. When your editor knows the format, they can work faster and deliver higher quality. When your audience knows what to expect, they're more likely to click and watch to completion. The magic happens when you add one experimental slot to your schedule. This gives you room to test new ideas without disrupting your core output. Maybe once per month, you try something different. If it works, you might evolve it into a third format. If it doesn't, you haven't derailed your entire content strategy. The series strategy that creates addiction. Here's a secret from television that YouTube creators rarely apply. Series create stronger viewer habits than standalone content. When someone watches the first episode of a series they enjoy, they're psychologically primed to watch the second episode. This isn't just preference, it's how human psychology works. Your brain craves completion and consistency. When you start a story, you want to see how it ends. When you begin learning a skill, you want to master it. When you discover a pattern you enjoy, you want more of the same. Series exploit these psychological drives to create binge-worthy content. But most YouTube creators think in terms of individual videos instead of connected experiences. They make standalone content that competes with itself instead of building on previous episodes. This is a massive missed opportunity. The solution is to design named series within your chosen formats. Instead of random tutorials, you create Tool School, where each episode teaches a specific software or technique. Instead of scattered case studies, you launch Breakdown Friday, where you analyze a different business failure every week. These series names become brands within your brand. Viewers start anticipating the next episode of Tool School. They binge-watch previous episodes of Breakdown Friday. They recommend specific series to friends facing similar challenges. Your content stops being a collection of random videos and becomes a library of valuable resources. The production benefits are enormous too. Once you establish a series format, you can create templates for intros, outros, and transitions. Your thumbnail designs become consistent. Your scripting follows proven patterns. What used to take hours of creative decision-making becomes automatic. The hook-first revolution. Most creators approach scripting backwards. They start with the information they want to share, then try to make it interesting. This is why so many videos lose viewers in the first 30 seconds. The content might be valuable, but the presentation doesn't grab attention immediately. The channels that win flip this process. They start with the hook, the compelling reason someone should watch this video right now. Then they build the entire script around delivering on that promise. This isn't manipulation, it's respect for your viewers' time and attention. A strong hook does 3 things in the first 20 to 30 seconds. It makes a clear promise about what the viewer will learn or discover. It provides immediate proof that you can deliver on that promise. And it sets a clear plan for how the video will unfold. But here's the advanced technique that separates good creators from great ones: strategic open loops. Throughout your video, you plant questions or tease revelations that won't be resolved until later. This creates a psychological tension that keeps viewers watching even when their attention starts to wander. The key is resolving these loops on schedule. If you promise to reveal something shocking at the end, you better deliver. If you tease 3 key insights, you need to clearly present all 3. Breaking promises destroys trust faster than anything else. This approach transforms your videos from lectures into journeys. Instead of passively consuming information, viewers become actively engaged in discovering answers. They stay longer, engage more, and remember your content better. The planning framework that prevents chaos. Random content creation leads to random results. The channels that scale plan their content, like television networks plan their seasons. They know what they're publishing weeks in advance, and they balance different types of content strategically. The framework is simpler than you might expect. Plan 5 to 10 videos at a time, mixing quick wins with evergreen anchors. Quick wins are timely topics that can capture immediate attention and traffic. Evergreen anchors are valuable resources that will attract viewers for months or years. The ratio matters. Aim for about 60% evergreen content and 40% timely content. This balance gives you immediate traffic opportunities while building a library of content that compounds over time. Too much timely content makes you a slave to current events. Too much evergreen content means you miss viral opportunities. For each planned video, map the required resources before you start production. What voiceover length will you need? What B-roll footage must you source? What graphics or animations are required? This resource check prevents mid-production delays and helps you batch similar tasks together. Set real deadlines for each video, not open-ended when it's done timelines. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available. Without deadlines, video production will stretch indefinitely. With clear deadlines, you'll find ways to work more efficiently. The title-first method that changes everything. Here's a technique that will revolutionize your content creation. Write the title before you write the script. This forces you to clarify exactly what value you're promising and ensures your entire video delivers on that promise. Most creators write scripts first, then struggle to create compelling titles that accurately represent their content. This backwards approach leads to misleading titles or boring descriptions of what's actually valuable content. When you start with the title, you're forced to identify the core benefit immediately. What specific outcome will viewers achieve? What exact problem will you solve? What precise insight will you reveal? The title becomes your North Star, guiding every creative decision. Write 10 title options for each video idea, then pick the strongest one. Keep the runner-up titles for potential shorts or future video ideas. This exercise forces you to find the most compelling angle for your content. Make sure your chosen title can be visualized. If you can't imagine a thumbnail that represents your title, rewrite it. The title and thumbnail must work together to create an irresistible package that stands out in crowded feeds. Avoid cleverness that hides the benefit. Puns and wordplay might feel creative, but they often confuse viewers about what they'll actually get from watching. Clear, benefit-focused titles outperform clever ones every time. The story architecture that holds attention. Even educational content needs narrative structure to maintain engagement. Random facts and tips don't create compelling viewing experiences. Stories do. The most successful faceless channels understand this and structure their content like mini documentaries rather than lectures. The simplest effective structure follows a problem path payoff rhythm. Start by clearly establishing a problem your viewers face. Then show the path to solving that problem, including obstacles and setbacks. Finally, deliver the payoff, the solution, insight, or outcome they've been waiting for. Within this larger structure, create pattern breaks every 20 to 40 seconds. These are moments that reset attention and prevent viewer fatigue. Maybe it's a visual change, a surprising statistic, or a provocative question. The goal is to create micro moments of renewed interest throughout your video. Use the and but therefore framework to create natural tension. And this strategy works well, but there's a hidden danger most people miss. Therefore, you need to watch for these 3 warning signs. This structure creates forward momentum and keeps viewers engaged. Remember that your script is a blueprint for your editor, not just a voiceover guide. Include notes about intended B-roll, graphics, and visual transitions. This preparation makes editing faster and ensures your vision translates to the final video. The idea mining operation that never runs dry. The most successful creators never run out of content ideas because they've built systematic approaches to idea generation. They don't wait for inspiration, they engineer it through proven research methods. Start by reverse engineering breakout videos in your niche. What topics consistently perform well? What angles haven't been fully explored? What questions keep appearing in comment sections? This outlier analysis reveals proven demand for specific types of content. Comments are pure gold for content creators. Viewers literally tell you what they want to learn, what confuses them, and what problems they're trying to solve. Screenshot recurring questions and turn them into video topics. Use their exact language in your titles and scripts. This ensures your content resonates with real audience needs. Search trends and social media conversations reveal emerging topics before they become saturated. Set up Google alerts for key terms in your niche. Monitor relevant subreddits and Twitter conversations. Watch for questions that appear repeatedly across different platforms. Maintain a running list of at least 30 video ideas. This backlog prevents panic when you need to plan your next upload. It also lets you batch similar research tasks and take advantage of inspiration when it strikes. The production pipeline that scales. As your channel grows, you'll need to systematize your production process to maintain quality while increasing output. The most successful creators think like small media companies, not individual artists. Batch similar tasks together to minimize context switching. Spend 1 day per week on research. Dedicate another day to scripting. Record multiple voiceovers in single sessions. This batching approach dramatically improves efficiency and reduces the mental energy required for each task. Create templates for everything you can standardize. Intro sequences, outro cards, lower thirds graphics, and transition effects should all follow consistent patterns. This consistency builds brand recognition while speeding up production. Document your processes as you develop them. When you eventually hire editors, writers, or other team members, these documented workflows will ensure consistent quality and faster onboarding. The goal isn't just to create content, it's to create a content machine that can operate with minimal daily input from you. When your system is running smoothly, you can focus on strategy, partnerships, and growth instead of getting buried in production details. But even the best content system means nothing if people don't click on your videos. The next chapter reveals the psychological triggers that transform browsers into viewers and the packaging mistakes that kill even the most valuable content before it has a chance to be seen. Chapter 4. Click Magnet. 2 identical videos, same topic, same quality, same value. One gets 50,000 views in the first week. The other struggles to break 500. What's the difference? It's not the algorithm playing favorites. It's not luck. It's something far more controllable and far more misunderstood. The difference is packaging. The title, thumbnail, and first 30 seconds of your video don't just present your content. They are your content sales team. They work 24/7 to convince strangers that your video deserves their most precious resource, attention. Most creators treat packaging as an afterthought. The winners treat it as the foundation of everything. This chapter reveals why your best content might be invisible and how to fix it. You'll discover the psychological triggers that transform browsers into viewers and the subtle mistakes that kill even valuable videos before they have a chance to be seen. But first, you need to understand the war being fought for every single click. The attention battlefield where most creators lose. Every second, 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. Your potential viewer is scrolling through an endless feed of options, making split-second decisions about what deserves their time. They're not reading descriptions or carefully evaluating content quality. They're pattern matching at lightning speed, looking for signals that promise value. This isn't conscious decision-making. It's survival instinct, adapted for digital consumption. The human brain evolved to quickly identify threats and opportunities in complex environments. Now it applies those same rapid-fire judgments to YouTube thumbnails and titles. Your packaging either triggers the "this looks valuable" response or the "skip this" reflex. There's no middle ground. You either capture attention immediately or you lose it forever. The viewer won't come back to reconsider your video later. They'll never even remember seeing it. This reality terrifies most creators because it feels unfair. They've spent hours researching, scripting, and editing valuable content only to watch it disappear into the void because the packaging didn't grab attention. But the creators who understand this system don't fight it. They master it. The secret isn't creating better content first and then figuring out how to package it. It's designing the package first and then creating content that delivers on its promise. This reversal changes everything about how you approach video creation. The mobile-first reality that changes everything. Here's a fact that will reshape how you think about thumbnails. Over 70% of YouTube watch time happens on mobile devices. Your carefully crafted thumbnail isn't being viewed on a large computer monitor. It's being judged on a screen the size of a playing card, often while the viewer is distracted or multitasking. This mobile reality demands a complete rethink of visual design principles. Complex compositions that look impressive on desktop become unreadable chaos on mobile. Text that seems clear on your computer screen becomes microscopic on a phone. Multiple focal points that create visual interest on large displays create confusion on small ones. The thumbnails that win on mobile follow ruthless simplicity rules. One focal subject dominates the frame. Contrast is extreme, light against dark, bright against muted. Text is either completely absent or limited to 1 to 3 words maximum. Every element serves a single purpose: instant recognition of value. But here's what most creators miss. Mobile viewing doesn't just change how thumbnails should look, it changes how titles should work. Mobile users often see only the first 30-40 characters of your title before it gets cut off. If your most compelling words are buried at the end, mobile viewers will never see them. This constraint isn't a limitation, it's a focusing tool. When you're forced to front-load your most important words, your titles become sharper and more compelling. When you design thumbnails for tiny screens, they become bolder and more memorable. The psychology of the split-second decision. Understanding why people click requires understanding how the brain processes visual information. When someone scrolls through YouTube, they're not reading every title and analyzing every thumbnail. They're scanning for patterns that match their current needs and interests. The brain looks for contrast first, what stands out from the surrounding content. Then it searches for familiarity, visual or textual cues that connect to existing knowledge or desires. Finally, it evaluates promise. Does this content appear to offer something valuable or entertaining? This process happens in milliseconds, below the threshold of conscious awareness. By the time someone realizes they're interested in a video, their brain has already processed dozens of visual and textual cues. Your packaging either aligns with this natural process or fights against it. Successful packaging exploits these psychological realities instead of ignoring them. It uses contrast to grab attention, familiarity to build trust, and clear promises to motivate action. Most importantly, it respects the viewer's intelligence while acknowledging their limited attention. The biggest mistake creators make is trying to be clever instead of clear. They create thumbnails that require interpretation or titles that hide their benefits behind wordplay. This approach might feel more creative, but it fails the split-second test. Clarity always beats cleverness in the attention economy. The title craft that converts browsers. Writing effective titles isn't about creativity, it's about conversion. Your title has one job: convince someone to click. Everything else is secondary. This doesn't mean being misleading or sensational. It means being strategically clear about the value you're offering. The most effective titles combine curiosity with desire. Curiosity creates the itch. What will I learn or discover? Desire provides the motivation. Why do I need to know this? When both elements are present, the psychological pressure to click becomes almost irresistible. Numbers and specific outcomes dramatically improve title performance because they set clear expectations. 5 mistakes is more compelling than common mistakes because it promises a defined, digestible amount of information. How I made $10,000 is more intriguing than how I made money because the specific figure creates concrete desire. But specificity goes beyond numbers. Entity clarity, mentioning specific companies, people, or products, helps viewers immediately understand relevance. Tesla's hidden problem performs better than electric car issues because Tesla triggers specific associations and emotions. The front-loading principle is crucial for mobile optimization and psychological impact. Your most compelling words should appear in the first few words of your title. If someone only reads the beginning, they should still understand the core value proposition. However, the most important rule is promise alignment. Your title creates an expectation that your content must fulfill. If your video can't deliver on the promise your title makes, change the title. Never compromise the truth. Trust is your most valuable asset, and misleading titles destroy it faster than anything else. The thumbnail science that stops the scroll. Great thumbnails aren't art, they're applied psychology. They exploit how the human visual system processes information to create maximum impact in minimum time. Understanding these principles transforms thumbnail creation from guesswork into systematic optimization. The rule of thirds and centered drama are your 2 primary composition tools. The rule of thirds places your focal subject at the intersection of imaginary grid lines, creating natural visual balance. Centered drama puts your subject dead center with extreme contrast, creating immediate impact. Choose one approach per thumbnail. Mixing them creates visual confusion. Color psychology plays a crucial role in thumbnail effectiveness. High contrast combinations, like bright yellow against deep blue or stark white against black, grab attention immediately. But contrast isn't just about brightness, it's about creating clear separation between your subject and background. The one idea principle is non-negotiable. Every thumbnail should communicate exactly one concept. If you can't describe your thumbnail's message in a single sentence, it's too complex. Multiple ideas compete for attention and dilute impact. Ruthless simplification always wins. Size and scale matter more than most creators realize. Your thumbnail subject should be large enough to recognize instantly on mobile devices. If you have to squint to see important details on your phone, your thumbnail fails the mobile test. When in doubt, make everything bigger and bolder. Text overlay is a double-edged sword. Used sparingly, it can clarify your video's value proposition. Used excessively, it clutters the composition and fights with your visual elements. The best practice is 0 to 4 words maximum, using large, high-contrast fonts that remain readable at thumbnail size. The critical first 30 seconds. Your title and thumbnail get the click, but your intro determines whether viewers stay or leave. The first 30 seconds of your video are make-or-break moments that either validate the click or trigger immediate abandonment. Most creators waste this precious time with unnecessary preamble. The promise confirmation principle is your guiding rule. Your first sentence should directly address the expectation your title created. If your title promises 3 mistakes that kill startups, your opening words should immediately reference those mistakes. This confirmation tells viewers they're in the right place and reduces the urge to click away. Visual proof accelerates engagement and builds credibility. Instead of just talking about your topic, show relevant visuals immediately. If you're analyzing a business failure, display the company's stock chart or news headlines. If you're explaining a concept, present a clear diagram or example. Visual proof makes abstract promises concrete. The path-setting technique creates forward momentum and manages expectations. After confirming your promise, briefly outline how you'll deliver on it. First, we'll examine the warning signs everyone missed. Then, we'll see how the founders responded. Finally, we'll extract the lessons that apply to your business. This roadmap gives viewers confidence in your organization and creates anticipation for each section. Open loops are advanced retention tools that create psychological tension. You can tease a surprising revelation, pose a provocative question, or hint at an unexpected conclusion. But these loops must pay off on schedule. Broken promises destroy trust and trigger mass abandonment. The pacing in your intro should match your thumbnail's energy level. If your thumbnail is dramatic and high energy, your intro should deliver immediate excitement. If your thumbnail is calm and analytical, your intro should be measured and thoughtful. Mismatched energy creates cognitive dissonance and confuses viewers. The testing framework that eliminates guesswork. Successful packaging isn't about perfect first attempts, it's about systematic improvement through testing. The creators who consistently achieve high click-through rates don't rely on intuition, they rely on data and feedback loops. The title sprint method generates options and reveals the strongest angles. Write 10 different titles for each video, exploring different emotional triggers and benefit statements. Keep the top 3 candidates and test them with peers or audience members. The title that generates the most immediate interest usually performs best. Thumbnail storyboarding prevents design paralysis and ensures concept clarity. Before opening any design software, sketch 3 completely different thumbnail concepts. Focus on composition and core message, not visual polish. This exercise forces you to explore different approaches and often reveals unexpected angles. The shrink test validates mobile readability. Export your thumbnail and view it at 10% of its original size. If you can't immediately identify the subject and understand the concept, your thumbnail needs simplification. This test simulates the mobile viewing experience and catches readability issues before publication. Micro-testing with real people provides invaluable feedback. Show your title and thumbnail options to 3 people and ask which they would click and why. Their explanations reveal whether your intended message is actually being communicated. Often, what seems obvious to you as the creator is confusing to fresh eyes. The most important testing principle is promise discipline. If your content can't deliver on a particular title or thumbnail concept, abandon that packaging approach. Never compromise content truth for packaging appeal. Long-term success requires building trust, and trust requires consistent delivery on promises. The iteration mindset that compounds success. Great packaging isn't achieved overnight. It's developed through consistent iteration and learning. Every video is an experiment that teaches you something about your audience's preferences and your own packaging skills. The creators who scale treat each upload as data collection, not just content distribution. Track your click-through rates and retention metrics religiously. Look for patterns in your highest-performing videos. What title structures work best for your audience? What thumbnail styles generate the most clicks? What intro approaches retain the most viewers? These patterns become your playbook for future content. Pay attention to suggested traffic versus search traffic. When your packaging is working well, YouTube's algorithm will start recommending your videos to new audiences through suggested feeds. This shift from search-dependent to suggestion-driven traffic is a key indicator that your packaging is resonating broadly. Study your competition's packaging, but don't copy it. Analyze what makes their successful videos click-worthy, then find ways to differentiate your approach while applying similar psychological principles. The goal is to understand the rules, not to replicate specific executions. Remember that packaging optimization is never finished. Audience preferences evolve, platform algorithms change, and new creators enter your space with fresh approaches. The creators who maintain their edge are those who never stop testing, learning, and improving their packaging skills. But even perfect packaging means nothing if your content can't be monetized. The next chapter reveals the hidden rules that determine whether your videos generate revenue or get flagged for policy violations, and the documentation system that protects your income from algorithmic uncertainty. Chapter 5, Production Machine. There's a Faceless YouTube channel that publishes 3 high-quality videos every week, maintains perfect audio consistency across hundreds of episodes, and has never missed a deadline in 2 years. The creator spends less than 5 hours per week on production. Another channel struggles to publish once per month, burns through editors like disposable cameras, and constantly apologizes to viewers for inconsistent upload schedules. What separates these two creators isn't talent, budget, or luck. It's something far more powerful and completely learnable. The successful creator has built what most people never even attempt: a production machine that transforms ideas into finished videos with mechanical precision. This chapter reveals how to engineer consistency in a creative process that most people treat as pure art. You'll discover why the most successful faceless channels operate like tiny studios, not individual creators, and how to build systems that scale without sacrificing quality. But first, you need to understand why most creators remain trapped in production chaos. The throughput trap that kills growth. Most creators think about production backwards. They focus on making each individual video perfect instead of building a system that makes good videos consistently. This perfectionist approach feels noble, but it's actually a growth killer, disguised as quality control. Here's the brutal math. YouTube's algorithm rewards consistent publishing more than occasional brilliance. A channel that uploads good videos every week will outperform a channel that uploads great videos every month. The algorithm interprets consistency as reliability, and reliability gets rewarded with more distribution. But the benefits of consistent throughput go beyond algorithmic favor. Regular publishing trains your audience to expect and anticipate your content. When viewers know you publish every Tuesday and Friday, they start checking for your videos. This predictable cadence becomes a competitive advantage because it builds viewing habits. The creators who scale understand that systems beat talent every single time. A reliable production pipeline will outperform sporadic brilliance because it creates compounding momentum. Each video builds on the last, creating a library of content that works together to establish authority and attract sponsors. Most importantly, documented processes protect your business from single points of failure. When everything depends on your personal involvement, you can't take breaks, hire help, or scale operations. When your production runs on systems, it can continue without you. The workflow architecture that never breaks. The difference between chaos and consistency lies in workflow design. Successful faceless channels don't wing it. They follow documented processes that turn content creation from an art project into a manufacturing operation. The most effective workflow follows a clear sequence. Research leads to script, which leads to voiceover, which leads to edit, which leads to quality control, which leads to packaging, which finally leads to publishing. Each stage has defined inputs, outputs, and handoff criteria. But here's what most creators miss. The magic isn't in the stages themselves, it's in the transitions between stages. When research finishes, script should be able to start immediately without confusion or delay. When voiceover completes, edit should have everything needed to begin work. Smooth handoffs prevent bottlenecks and eliminate the stop-start friction that kills momentum. Clear ownership prevents the diffusion of responsibility that plagues many content operations. Every task needs a single person who's accountable for its completion. When everyone is responsible, no one is responsible. When specific people own specific outcomes, problems get solved quickly instead of lingering indefinitely. Service-level agreements sound corporate, but they're essential for consistent output. How long should scripting take? When are voiceover files due? What's the maximum number of revision rounds? These agreements prevent scope creep and ensure everyone understands expectations. The most successful creators also build buffer time into their workflows. Murphy's Law applies to content creation. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Equipment fails, freelancers disappear, and inspiration doesn't strike on schedule. Buffers absorb these inevitable disruptions without derailing your publishing calendar. The AI voice decision that defines your brand. The rise of AI voice technology has created both opportunities and pitfalls for faceless creators. Used correctly, AI voice can provide consistency, speed, and anonymity. Used incorrectly, it can destroy trust and create an uncanny valley effect that repels viewers. The decision between human and AI voice isn't binary, it's strategic. AI voice excels at delivering consistent tone and pacing across long series. It never has bad days, doesn't require scheduling, and can be adjusted for emphasis and emotion. For educational content and analytical videos, AI voice often performs as well as human narration while providing operational advantages. However, AI voice struggles with emotional nuance and authentic connection. For storytelling content, personal anecdotes, or sponsor reads, human voice often converts better because it carries genuine emotion and personality. The most successful channels use hybrid approaches, combining AI efficiency with human authenticity where it matters most. The ethical considerations are crucial for long-term brand health. Never use AI to impersonate real people without disclosure. Be transparent about AI usage when it's relevant to your audience. Focus on using AI to enhance your authentic voice, not to create a fake persona. Technical execution determines whether AI voice helps or hurts your content. Poor AI voice sounds robotic and destroys immersion. Quality AI voice requires careful tuning of pacing, emphasis, and breath patterns. The goal isn't to fool people into thinking it's human. It's to create a pleasant, consistent listening experience that serves your content. The batching strategy that multiplies efficiency. Context switching is the silent killer of creative productivity. Every time you jump between different types of tasks, your brain needs time to refocus and recalibrate. This transition time adds up quickly, often doubling or tripling the actual time required for production tasks. The solution is batching, grouping similar tasks together to minimize context switches and maximize flow states. Instead of researching, scripting, recording, and editing one video at a time, you batch each activity across multiple videos. A typical batching schedule might dedicate Mondays to research, Tuesdays to scripting, Wednesdays to voiceover recording, and Thursday-Friday to editing. This approach allows you to dive deep into each type of work without constantly shifting mental gears. Batching also enables better resource utilization. When you're in research mode, you can investigate multiple topics simultaneously, finding connections and efficiencies that wouldn't be obvious when researching one video at a time. When you're recording voiceover, you can knock out multiple scripts in a single session with consistent audio quality. The key is protecting your batching blocks from interruption. Treat these focused work sessions as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary browser tabs, and commit fully to the task at hand. The productivity gains from deep, uninterrupted work are exponential, not linear. Reserve time each week for fixing unexpected issues and handling urgent tasks. This fix window prevents emergencies from disrupting your batching schedule while ensuring problems get addressed promptly. The quality control system that scales. As your operation grows, maintaining consistent quality becomes increasingly challenging. What seems obvious to you as the creator might be unclear to freelancers or team members. Without systematic quality control, your brand standards will drift as more people touch your content. The solution is a lightweight quality control rubric that defines your standards clearly and measurably. Instead of subjective feedback like "make it better," you need objective criteria like "hook must confirm title promise within 20 seconds," or "visual change required every 5 to 10 seconds." Your QC checklist should cover the elements that matter most to your audience and brand: audio levels and clarity, visual variety and pacing, hook effectiveness, and legal compliance are typically non-negotiable. Secondary elements like color grading and motion graphics can have more flexibility while still maintaining brand consistency. The most effective QC systems include positive examples alongside the criteria. Instead of just saying "create engaging hooks," link to 3 examples of hooks that work well for your channel. This approach gives team members concrete targets to aim for rather than abstract goals to interpret. Build QC into your workflow as a formal stage, not an afterthought. Someone should be responsible for checking every video against your standards before it gets published. This person can be you initially, but the role should be clearly defined so it can eventually be delegated. Track QC issues over time to identify patterns and improve your processes. If the same problems keep appearing, your SOPs need clarification or your training needs improvement. Quality issues are usually system problems, not people problems. The Asset Management Foundation. Professional content creation generates massive amounts of digital assets: video files, audio tracks, graphics, stock footage, music, and project files. Without organized asset management, you'll waste hours searching for files, recreate assets you already own, and risk legal issues from unclear licensing. File naming and folder organization might seem boring, but they're the foundation of scalable production. Consistent naming conventions allow anyone on your team to find assets quickly. Clear folder structures prevent important files from getting lost in digital chaos. Version control becomes critical as your production complexity increases. Scripts go through multiple drafts, video edits require several rounds of revisions, and assets get updated over time. Without clear versioning, you'll accidentally use outdated files or lose track of approved changes. License tracking protects you from legal problems and helps you maximize asset value. Every piece of stock footage, music track, and graphic element should be logged with its license terms and expiration dates. This documentation becomes essential if you ever face copyright claims or want to repurpose content. Template libraries accelerate production and ensure brand consistency. Lower thirds graphics, transition effects, intro sequences, and end cards should all follow established templates. This approach speeds up editing while maintaining visual coherence across your content library. The goal isn't to create bureaucracy, it's to build infrastructure that supports growth. When your asset management is solid, scaling production becomes a matter of adding people and processes rather than rebuilding everything from scratch. The Team Integration Blueprint. Most creators try to scale by throwing more people at production problems without changing their underlying systems. This approach usually creates more chaos, not more output. Successful scaling requires redesigning your processes to accommodate multiple people working on different parts of the same project. Clear role definitions prevent overlap and ensure accountability. Your writer needs to know exactly what research is expected and what format the script should follow. Your editor needs detailed guidance about pacing, style, and brand standards. Your thumbnail designer needs examples and specifications, not vague creative direction. Communication protocols become essential when multiple people are working on the same content. How do you handle revision requests? What's the escalation process for problems? How do you ensure everyone has access to the latest files and feedback? These protocols prevent small issues from becoming major delays. Training materials accelerate onboarding and maintain quality standards. Instead of explaining your preferences repeatedly, create documented guides that new team members can reference. Include examples of excellent work alongside explanations of what makes it excellent. The most successful creators start delegating before they need to. They document their processes while doing the work themselves, then gradually hand off tasks to team members. This approach ensures nothing gets lost in translation and allows for smooth transitions. The Continuous Improvement Engine. Your production machine isn't a static system. It's a living process that should improve over time. The most successful creators treat every video as an experiment that teaches them something about their workflow, quality standards, or team performance. Weekly retrospectives help identify bottlenecks and improvement opportunities. What took longer than expected? Where did quality issues arise? What communication breakdowns occurred? These short reviews prevent small problems from becoming permanent inefficiencies. Metric tracking reveals trends that aren't obvious from individual video performance. Are your retention rates improving as your editing gets more sophisticated? Do certain types of content require more or less production time? Is your team getting faster without sacrificing quality? These insights guide strategic decisions about resource allocation and process optimization. The goal is continuous optimization, not perfection. Small improvements compound over time, turning a decent production system into a competitive advantage. The creators who consistently outperform their competition aren't necessarily more talented. They're more systematic about getting better. But even the most efficient production machine means nothing if your content violates platform policies and gets demonetized. The next chapter reveals the hidden compliance framework that protects your revenue from algorithmic uncertainty and the documentation strategy that turns policy reviews from nightmares into routine approvals. Chapter 6, Policy Armor. A successful faceless channel with 500,000 subscribers wakes up to find their monetization disabled. No warning, no explanation, just a generic email about reused content and a link to appeal. 6 months of revenue, gone. Another creator gets 3 copyright strikes in 1 week, despite using footage they thought was fair use. Their channel gets terminated, taking 2 years of work with it. These aren't isolated incidents. They're the predictable result of creators who treat platform policies like suggestions instead of laws. The creators who scale without getting nuked understand something that most never learn. Policy compliance isn't about following rules. It's about building armor that protects your business from algorithmic uncertainty. This chapter reveals the documentation system that turns policy reviews from nightmares into routine approvals. You'll discover why fair use isn't a magic shield and how the creators who survive platform changes build evidence files that speak louder than appeals. But first, you need to understand the invisible war being fought over every piece of content you upload. The monetization minefield that destroys channels. Platform policies aren't academic guidelines. They're the difference between a profitable business and a worthless hobby. When your monetization gets disabled, you don't just lose future revenue. You lose credibility with sponsors, momentum with your audience, and months of potential growth while fighting appeals. The most dangerous misconception is thinking that policy violations are rare, random events that happen to other creators. The reality is that every faceless channel walks a tightrope between valuable content and policy violations. The line isn't always clear, and it shifts without warning as platforms update their guidelines. Reused content flags have become the silent killer of faceless channels. Creators think they're safe because they're adding commentary or using Creative Commons footage. Then they get hit with violations that seem arbitrary and unfair. The problem isn't the platform being unreasonable. It's creators misunderstanding what transformation actually means in the eyes of algorithmic reviewers. The creators who survive and thrive don't just avoid violations. They build systems that prove their originality proactively. They document their creative process so thoroughly that policy reviews become formalities instead of battles. They understand that in the attention economy, trust signals matter more than legal technicalities. Clean policy records become competitive advantages. Sponsors prefer working with channels that have stable monetization. Platforms give preferential treatment to creators with strong compliance histories. Audiences trust channels that consistently deliver content without interruption. Policy armor isn't just protection, it's a business asset. The documentation defense that never fails. Most creators approach policy compliance reactively. They create content first, then worry about policies if problems arise. This backwards approach guarantees eventual violations because it treats compliance as an afterthought instead of a foundation. The creators who scale build documentation into their creative process from day one. Every video becomes a case study in transformation and originality. Every source gets logged with usage notes and license details. Every creative decision gets recorded with intent and justification. This documentation serves multiple purposes beyond policy protection. It accelerates production by creating reusable templates and workflows. It enables team scaling by providing clear guidelines for freelancers and employees. It builds institutional knowledge that survives personnel changes and platform updates. The key insight is that documentation must be contemporaneous, created during the process, not after problems arise. Retroactive documentation looks suspicious to reviewers and often misses crucial details that seemed obvious at the time but become unclear later. Effective documentation also serves as a learning system. Each video teaches you something about what works, what doesn't, and where the boundaries lie. Over time, your documentation becomes a playbook that guides future content decisions and reduces policy risk. The goal isn't to create bureaucracy, it's to build evidence that speaks for itself. When reviewers can see your creative process, understand your transformation methodology, and verify your source usage, appeals become conversations instead of arguments. The transformation framework that actually works. The biggest myth in faceless content creation is that using Creative Commons or public domain footage automatically makes your content monetizable. License status and platform policies operate in different domains. You can have perfect legal rights to use footage and still get flagged for reused content if you don't add sufficient transformation. Transformation isn't about cosmetic changes. It's about creating new meaning and value. Adding filters, changing speed, or cropping footage doesn't constitute meaningful transformation. These surface-level modifications might avoid copyright claims, but they won't protect monetization. Real transformation requires adding substantial commentary, analysis, or educational value that changes the purpose and meaning of the original content. Your voiceover becomes the primary product, with visuals serving to support your analysis rather than being the main attraction. The most effective approach is thesis-driven content creation. Start with a clear argument or educational goal, then use source footage to support that thesis. Each clip should serve a specific purpose in advancing your argument. This approach naturally creates transformation because the footage becomes evidence for your point rather than entertainment for its own sake. Context and commentary must be substantial and specific. Generic narration that could apply to any footage doesn't create meaningful transformation. Your analysis should be unique to the specific content you're showing and should add insights that viewers couldn't get from watching the original footage alone. The market substitution test is crucial for long-term safety. If someone could watch your video instead of the original content and get the same value, you're probably not transformative enough. Your content should complement or analyze the original, not replace it. The source logging system that saves channels. Professional content creators maintain detailed logs of every piece of footage, music, and graphics they use. This isn't just good organization, it's essential protection against copyright claims and policy violations. When problems arise, source logs become your first line of defense. Effective source logging captures more than just URLs and timestamps. Document the license terms, usage restrictions, and expiration dates. Note any modifications you make to the original content. Record the specific purpose each piece serves in your video and how it supports your overall thesis. The logging system should be accessible to your entire team and updated in real time during production. Retroactive logging often misses crucial details or contains errors that can undermine your defense during appeals. Make source documentation a required step in your production workflow, not an optional cleanup task. Version control becomes critical when you're using multiple pieces of content from the same source or making iterative changes to your edit. Track which version of each source you're using and maintain records of any modifications or updates. Geographic and temporal context can be important for certain types of content. News footage, for example, might have different usage rights depending on when and where it was originally broadcast. Sports content often has complex licensing restrictions that vary by region and time period. The goal is creating an audit trail that demonstrates your due diligence and good faith efforts to use content appropriately. Even when disputes arise, thorough documentation shows reviewers that you're a professional creator who takes rights seriously, not someone trying to exploit loopholes. The originality dossier that wins appeals. When policy violations occur, most creators respond with emotional appeals that focus on their intentions rather than evidence of their compliance. This approach rarely succeeds because reviewers need facts, not feelings. The creators who win appeals consistently present organized evidence that makes their case objectively. An originality dossier is a comprehensive file that documents your creative process for each video. It includes script drafts showing your original thinking, voiceover recordings proving your personal contribution, project timelines demonstrating your production effort, and transformation notes explaining how you've added value to source material. The dossier should tell a clear story about your creative process. Start with your initial concept and research. Show how you developed your thesis and outlined your argument. Document your scripting process and voiceover recording. Include notes about your editing decisions and transformation methodology. Visual evidence strengthens your case significantly. Screenshots of your editing timeline, examples of your graphic overlays, and comparisons between source footage and your final edit help reviewers understand the scope of your transformation. Before and after comparisons are particularly powerful for demonstrating added value. Technical metadata can provide additional verification of your claims. Project files, render logs, and asset timestamps create an objective record of your production process that's difficult to dispute. This technical evidence supports your narrative with hard data. The presentation matters as much as the content. Organize your dossier logically with clear headings and easy navigation. Include a summary that highlights your key transformation elements. Make it easy for reviewers to find the information they need to approve your appeal quickly. The proactive compliance strategy. The most successful creators don't wait for policy problems to arise. They build compliance into their content strategy from the beginning. This proactive approach prevents most violations and creates a track record that protects against false positives. Voice-led content naturally creates stronger transformation than footage-heavy compilations. When your commentary drives the narrative and visuals serve to illustrate your points, you're automatically creating more original value. This approach also makes your content more engaging and educational for viewers. On-screen attribution and source citation demonstrate transparency and good faith. Include lower thirds that identify your sources, add end cards that link to original content, and timestamp key claims in your video descriptions. This transparency builds trust with both platforms and audiences. Regular policy audits help you stay current with changing guidelines and identify potential risks in your content strategy. Platform policies evolve constantly, and what was acceptable last year might be problematic today. Quarterly reviews of your processes and recent content help you adapt proactively. Team training becomes crucial as you scale your operation. Every person who touches your content needs to understand your compliance standards and documentation requirements. Policy violations often occur when team members don't understand the importance of transformation and documentation. The goal is building a reputation as a high-quality, compliant creator that platforms want to support. When your track record demonstrates consistent adherence to policies and professional content creation practices, you get the benefit of the doubt in borderline cases. The appeal strategy that actually works. When violations do occur, your response strategy determines whether you recover quickly or get trapped in appeal limbo. Most creators approach appeals emotionally, focusing on their frustration rather than evidence of compliance. This approach almost always fails. Successful appeals lead with transformation evidence and supporting documentation. Start by clearly stating your thesis and explaining how each piece of source content supports your argument. Provide specific time codes where your commentary changes the meaning or context of the original footage. Technical evidence strengthens your case significantly. Include screenshots of your editing timeline, examples of your graphic overlays, and metadata that proves your production effort. This objective evidence is harder to dispute than subjective arguments about transformation. Professional tone and organization make your appeal easier to process and more likely to succeed. Avoid emotional language, personal attacks, or accusations of unfairness. Present your case like a legal brief, clear, factual, and well organized. Make it easy for reviewers to understand and approve your appeal. Follow-up strategy matters for complex cases. If your initial appeal is denied, analyze the response for clues about specific concerns. Address those concerns directly in your follow-up rather than simply restating your original arguments. The most important principle is learning from every violation, whether successful appeals or confirmed problems. Each case teaches you something about platform standards and helps you refine your compliance strategy for future content. But Policy Armor is just the foundation for sustainable revenue. The next chapter reveals the monetization strategies that transform compliant content into multiple income streams and the psychological triggers that make viewers eager to buy what you're selling. Chapter 7. Money Maps. A faceless channel with 15,000 subscribers earns $8,000 per month. Another channel with 150,000 subscribers struggles to make $800. Same platform, same audience size difference, but a 10x revenue gap that defies logic. The difference isn't luck, algorithm favoritism, or secret insider knowledge. It's something far more strategic and completely replicable. The high-earning creator has built what most never discover: a money map. Not a get-rich-quick scheme or a single monetization hack, but a systematic approach to turning attention into income across multiple streams. They understand that views are just the raw material. The real money comes from what you do with those views. This chapter reveals how to design income that compounds with every video and every viewer interaction. You'll discover why the creators who scale beyond 6 figures never depend on a single revenue source, and how to build monetization systems that work while you sleep. But first, you need to understand why most creators leave 90% of their potential revenue on the table. The single stream trap that limits growth. Most creators treat monetization like a light switch. Either you're making money from ads or you're not. This binary thinking creates dangerous dependence on platform policies, algorithm changes, and market fluctuations completely outside your control. When your entire income depends on AdSense RPM, you're not running a business, you're gambling with your future. The creators who build sustainable income think like portfolio managers, not lottery players. They diversify revenue streams across uncorrelated sources so that when one stream fluctuates, others provide stability. When ad rates drop during economic downturns, affiliate commissions and product sales can maintain cash flow. But diversification isn't just about risk management. It's about revenue multiplication. Each monetization stream serves different viewer intents and captures value at different stages of the audience journey. Ads monetize casual viewers, affiliates convert buyers, sponsors reward loyalty, and products capture the highest value segments. The compounding effect is where the real magic happens. Each revenue stream reinforces the others, creating a flywheel that accelerates over time. Successful affiliate promotions attract sponsor interest. Strong sponsor relationships provide product development insights. Product sales generate testimonials that improve affiliate conversions. Early monetization wins also provide psychological momentum that keeps creators publishing consistently. When you see real money flowing from your content, even small amounts, it validates your strategy and motivates continued effort. This momentum becomes self-reinforcing as success breeds more success. The YouTube Partner Program Foundation. The YouTube Partner Program remains the foundation of most successful faceless channels, but treating it as the destination instead of the starting point limits your potential. YPP approval signals platform trust and unlocks additional monetization features, but the real value lies in what it enables rather than what it pays directly. The path to YPP has 2 routes: 1,000 subscribers plus 4,000 watch hours, or 10 million shorts views in the past year. Most creators default to the subscriber route without considering which path aligns better with their content strategy and production capabilities. Long-form content builds deeper engagement and higher watch time per video, making the 4,000-hour threshold achievable with fewer total uploads. If your content naturally runs 8 to 15 minutes and maintains good retention, the traditional path often proves faster and more sustainable. Shorts can accumulate views rapidly, but converting Shorts viewers to long-form subscribers requires strategic bridging. The 10 million view threshold sounds intimidating, but viral shorts can achieve massive view counts quickly. The key is using shorts strategically to funnel viewers toward your long-form content where deeper monetization occurs. Watch time quality matters more than raw quantity for long-term success. YouTube's algorithm rewards channels that keep viewers on the platform longer, not just channels that get clicks. Building a library of content that encourages binge watching creates sustainable growth beyond initial YPP approval. The approval process itself provides valuable feedback about your content quality and audience engagement. Channels that get approved quickly typically have strong fundamentals that translate into better performance across all monetization streams. The affiliate strategy that builds trust. Affiliate marketing gets a bad reputation because most creators approach it backwards. They start with high-commission products and try to convince their audience to buy them. The creators who succeed with affiliates start with their audience's genuine needs and find products that solve real problems. The key insight is that affiliate success depends on trust, not persuasion. When you consistently recommend products that genuinely help your viewers, affiliate links become a service rather than a sales pitch. Your audience starts looking forward to your recommendations because they know you've done the research and testing. Integration timing determines conversion rates more than product quality. The most effective affiliate promotions happen at the moment of need, when viewers are actively seeking solutions to problems you've just explained. Tutorial content naturally creates these moments because viewers want the tools you're demonstrating. Value-first promotion builds long-term relationships that compound over time. Instead of just dropping affiliate links, create bonus content that enhances the product's value. Offer templates, checklists, or tutorials that complement your affiliate recommendations. This approach increases conversions while providing additional value to your audience. Disclosure transparency actually improves performance when done correctly. Clear, honest disclosure builds trust and often increases click-through rates because it signals that you're confident in your recommendations. Viewers appreciate honesty and are more likely to trust creators who are transparent about their monetization. The most successful affiliate strategies focus on a small number of high-quality partnerships rather than promoting everything available. Deep relationships with 3 to 5 affiliate partners often outperform surface-level promotion of dozens of products. The sponsorship ladder that scales income. The biggest misconception about sponsorships is that you need massive subscriber counts to attract brand interest. Niche authority and audience engagement often matter more than raw numbers. A channel with 25,000 highly engaged subscribers in a specific vertical can command higher rates than a channel with 100,000 disengaged general viewers. The sponsorship ladder starts with micro-sponsors, smaller companies that need targeted exposure and have flexible budgets. These early partnerships provide case studies, testimonials, and experience that attract larger sponsors later. Every successful sponsorship relationship becomes proof of your ability to deliver results. Media kit development transforms sponsor outreach from begging to business development. A professional one-page overview of your audience demographics, engagement metrics, and package options positions you as a serious business partner rather than a hopeful creator. Package design should offer multiple price points and deliverables to accommodate different sponsor budgets and goals. Pre-roll mentions, mid-roll integrations, dedicated videos, shorts promotions, and community posts can be mixed and matched to create custom solutions. Sponsor creative that respects your audience while delivering brand value requires balancing authenticity with commercial objectives. The most effective sponsor content teaches something valuable while naturally incorporating the brand message. This approach maintains viewer trust while providing sponsors with engaged attention. Results tracking and reporting separate professional creators from amateurs. Sponsors want to see click-through rates, engagement metrics, and conversion data when available. Providing detailed performance reports builds trust and often leads to extended partnerships and higher rates. The product development shortcut. Most creators think product development requires months of planning and complex technical implementation. The fastest path to product revenue starts with your existing content and audience feedback. Your videos already demonstrate your expertise. Products simply package that knowledge in more concentrated, actionable formats. Comment mining reveals exactly what your audience wants to buy. When viewers repeatedly ask for templates, checklists, or detailed guides, they're literally telling you what products to create. This demand validation eliminates the guesswork that kills most product launches. Pre-selling validates demand and funds development before you invest significant time or money. A simple community post or pinned comment can gauge interest and collect pre-orders for products that don't yet exist. This approach ensures you're building something people actually want to buy. Minimum viable products get you to market faster and provide real customer feedback for iteration. Your first product doesn't need to be comprehensive. It needs to solve one specific problem really well. You can expand and improve based on customer feedback and usage data. Pricing psychology significantly impacts perceived value and conversion rates. Anchor pricing with a higher tier option makes your standard offering seem more reasonable. Bundle pricing increases average order value while providing more comprehensive solutions. Delivery systems don't need to be complex to be effective. Simple PDF downloads, private YouTube playlists, or basic membership sites can deliver significant value without requiring technical expertise or ongoing maintenance. The revenue tracking system that optimizes everything. Most creators track vanity metrics like views and subscribers while ignoring the financial metrics that actually matter for business growth. Revenue per 1,000 views, customer lifetime value, and profit margins provide actionable insights that improve decision-making. RPM tracking by topic reveals which content types generate the most revenue per view. This data should guide your editorial calendar toward higher value content while maintaining audience interest. Sometimes a slight shift in angle or format can dramatically improve monetization without sacrificing engagement. Conversion funnel analysis shows where you're losing potential revenue and where optimization efforts will have the biggest impact. Maybe your affiliate links get clicks but don't convert, suggesting a product-audience mismatch. Maybe your sponsor mentions get attention but don't drive action, indicating creative optimization opportunities. Customer acquisition cost and lifetime value calculations determine which monetization strategies deserve more investment. If affiliate commissions cost you $10 to acquire a customer who generates $50 in lifetime value, you should invest more in affiliate promotion. If sponsor deals require significant time but generate low hourly rates, you might focus elsewhere. Seasonal patterns and trend analysis help you plan content and monetization strategies around predictable fluctuations. Many niches have seasonal buying patterns that smart creators anticipate and capitalize on with targeted content and promotions. The goal isn't just tracking numbers. It's using data to make better strategic decisions about where to focus your time and energy for maximum revenue impact. The monetization mindset that compounds success. Successful monetization requires shifting from creator mindset to business owner mindset. Instead of hoping your content accidentally makes money, you design content that systematically converts attention into income while providing genuine value to your audience. Long-term thinking beats short-term optimization in almost every monetization scenario. Building trust and authority takes time, but it creates sustainable income streams that compound over years. Quick monetization tactics often damage relationships and limit future opportunities. Value alignment between your content and monetization offers creates authentic promotion that doesn't feel forced or manipulative. When your affiliate recommendations genuinely solve problems your content identifies, promotion becomes education rather than sales. Audience segmentation allows you to serve different monetization offers to different viewer segments based on their engagement level and buying intent. Casual viewers might see affiliate recommendations. Engaged subscribers might get product offers, and superfans might receive exclusive sponsorship benefits. The most successful creators treat monetization as a service to their audience rather than extraction from their audience. When your monetization genuinely helps viewers solve problems and achieve goals, everyone wins, and the relationship strengthens over time. But even perfect monetization means nothing if you can't scale your operation to handle growth. The next chapter reveals the data-driven system that transforms scattered wins into predictable, scalable success, and the hidden metrics that separate channels that plateau from channels that explode. Chapter 8: Scale Engine. Two creators launched channels on the same day with identical positioning and content quality. 1 year later, the first creator has 5,000 subscribers and uploads sporadically when inspiration strikes. The second has 75,000 subscribers, consistent sponsor deals, and a team that handles 80% of production. What created this 15x difference in growth? It wasn't luck, talent, or algorithm favoritism. It was something far more systematic and completely learnable. The successful creator had built what most never discover: a scale engine. Not just a content calendar or production workflow, but a data-driven system that converts scattered wins into predictable, compounding growth. This chapter reveals how to stop guessing and start measuring what actually drives channel growth. You'll discover why the creators who scale fastest treat every upload as an experiment, and how to build feedback loops that turn small improvements into exponential results. But first, you need to understand why most creators remain trapped in the random walk of content creation. The data revolution that changes everything. Most creators operate on hope and intuition. They upload videos and wait to see what happens. They celebrate viral hits without understanding what caused them. They ignore retention graphs and focus on view counts. This approach guarantees mediocrity because it treats success as random when it's actually systematic. The creators who scale understand that YouTube is a feedback machine that tells you exactly what's working and what isn't. Every metric is a signal about viewer behavior, algorithmic preference, and monetization potential. The key is knowing which signals matter and how to respond to them strategically. First 30 seconds retention predicts video trajectory better than any other single metric. If viewers drop off immediately, your hook failed to confirm the promise your title and thumbnail made. If retention stays strong through the first minute, you're likely to see sustained performance and algorithmic promotion. Click-through rate without retention is failure disguised as success. High CTR with low retention signals clickbait. You're attracting clicks but disappointing viewers. This pattern actually hurts your channel because the algorithm learns that your content doesn't satisfy viewer intent. Views per impression reveals true audience resonance. This metric shows how often people choose your video when it appears in their feed. High views per impression indicates strong packaging and audience fit. Low views per impression suggests your content isn't compelling to your target audience. The magic happens when you track these metrics systematically and use them to guide content decisions. Instead of guessing what to make next, you let viewer behavior tell you what's working and double down on those patterns. The OODA loop that accelerates learning. Military strategists use the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, to make faster, better decisions than their opponents. The creators who scale fastest apply this same framework to content creation, turning every upload into a learning opportunity that improves future performance. Observe means studying your analytics with forensic detail. Where exactly do viewers drop off in your videos? Which titles generate the highest click-through rates? What thumbnail styles perform best for different topics? This observation phase requires discipline because it's easier to upload and move on than to analyze what happened. Orient involves interpreting the data to understand what it means for your strategy. If retention drops at the 2-minute mark across multiple videos, you might have a pacing problem. If certain topics consistently outperform others, you should shift your editorial calendar. This interpretation requires pattern recognition and strategic thinking. Decide means choosing specific changes to test based on your analysis. Maybe you'll experiment with shorter intros, different thumbnail styles, or new topic angles. The key is testing one variable at a time so you can isolate what's actually driving performance changes. ACT involves implementing your decisions and measuring the results. This completes the loop and provides new data for the next cycle. The creators who improve fastest run this loop weekly, constantly refining their approach based on real viewer feedback. The compound effect of systematic improvement is extraordinary. Small gains in CTR, retention, and satisfaction multiply over time, creating exponential growth that looks like overnight success but is actually the result of disciplined iteration. The publishing cadence that builds momentum. Consistency isn't just about keeping promises to your audience. It's about training the algorithm to recognize you as a reliable content creator worthy of promotion. Channels that publish predictably get more distribution than channels that upload sporadically, even when the sporadic uploads are higher quality. The most effective publishing strategy combines long-form depth with shorts discovery. 1 to 2 long-form videos per week provides substantial value and builds deep audience relationships. 3 to 5 shorts per week expands your reach and funnels new viewers to your main content. The key is making your shorts work strategically, not just chasing viral moments. Effective shorts preview upcoming long-form content, recap key insights from recent videos, or answer common questions from your comment sections. Each short should have a clear bridge to your long-form library. Playlists and end screens become crucial for session time optimization. When viewers finish one video, you want them to immediately start another. Strategic playlist organization and compelling end screen CTAs can double or triple your average session duration. Series publishing creates anticipation and habit formation that individual videos can't match. When viewers know that Breakdown Friday happens every week, they start checking for new episodes. This predictability becomes a competitive advantage because it builds viewing routines. Buffer content prevents the momentum-killing gaps that destroy publishing consistency. Always have one evergreen video ready to publish if your planned content hits production delays. This insurance policy protects your cadence from inevitable disruptions. The hiring strategy that preserves quality. Most creators try to scale by throwing more people at their production process without first developing the ability to judge quality work. This approach usually creates more chaos, not more output, because you can't manage what you can't evaluate. The fundamental rule is that you must be able to do the work excellently before you can delegate it effectively. If you can't write compelling scripts, you can't hire good writers. If you don't understand effective editing, you can't manage editors. Taste is developed through practice, not theory. Hire your biggest bottleneck first, not your least favorite task. If scripting takes you 8 hours per video, but editing takes 2, hire a writer before an editor. If thumbnail creation is fast, but voiceover recording is slow, focus on VO solutions first. Attack the constraint that's actually limiting your throughput. Trial projects reveal more about freelancer quality than portfolios or interviews. Give 3 candidates the same raw materials and compare their outputs against your quality standards. This approach eliminates the guesswork and shows you exactly what each person can deliver. Clear rubrics and exemplars enable consistent evaluation and feedback. Instead of subjective comments like, make it better, provide specific criteria like, hook must confirm title promise within 15 seconds, or visual change required every 8 to 10 seconds. This objectivity helps freelancers improve and protects your brand standards. Onboarding systems accelerate new team member productivity while maintaining quality. Document your processes, provide annotated examples of excellent work, and create checklists that ensure nothing gets missed. This infrastructure investment pays dividends as you scale. The metrics dashboard that guides decisions. Successful scaling requires tracking the right metrics and ignoring vanity numbers that don't correlate with business growth. Most creators obsess over subscriber counts and total views while ignoring the metrics that actually predict revenue and sustainability. Your lightweight analytics scoreboard should focus on actionable metrics that guide content decisions. Click-through rate, first 30 seconds retention, average view duration, and views per impression tell you everything you need to know about content performance. Topic RPM tracking reveals which content types generate the most revenue per view. This data should heavily influence your editorial calendar because some topics might get fewer views but generate significantly more income. A video with 10,000 views at $15 RPM out-earns a video with 50,000 views at $2 RPM. Satisfaction signals like comments, likes, and new viewer percentage indicate audience engagement quality. High engagement often predicts algorithmic promotion and sponsor interest. These metrics also reveal which content creates the strongest audience connections. Color-coding your metrics helps identify patterns quickly. Green for above-average performance, yellow for baseline, red for below average. This visual system makes trends obvious and helps you spot outliers that deserve deeper analysis. The goal isn't to track everything. It's to track the few metrics that actually matter for your specific goals and use them to make better strategic decisions about where to focus your time and energy. The kill-scale decision framework. One of the hardest skills for creators to develop is knowing when to double down on success and when to abandon failing approaches. Most creators either give up too quickly on good ideas or persist too long with bad ones. Systematic decision frameworks eliminate this guesswork. The kill-scale framework is simple but powerful. If a video's CTR and retention both beat your baseline averages, scale that approach. Create more content in that style, on that topic, or with that format. If either metric falls significantly below baseline, kill that approach and recycle the angle for shorts or community posts. This framework prevents the common mistake of scaling the wrong things. A video might get high views due to algorithmic luck, but if the retention is poor, scaling that approach will hurt your channel long term. Conversely, a video with modest views but excellent retention might be perfect for scaling. The recycling principle ensures that no good ideas get completely wasted. A topic that doesn't work for long form might be perfect for shorts. A title that doesn't generate clicks might work better with different thumbnail styling. This approach maximizes the value of your creative effort. Setting clear rules for these decisions removes emotion from the process. When you know that CTR below 4% or retention below 40% triggers the kill decision, you can act quickly without second-guessing yourself. This speed prevents you from wasting time on approaches that aren't working. The repurposing engine that multiplies value. The most efficient creators don't just make content, they build content systems that generate multiple outputs from single inputs. A well-researched long-form video can spawn shorts, community posts, social media content, email newsletters, and even product ideas. Winning videos deserve maximum exploitation. If a video performs well, carve it into multiple shorts that highlight key insights. Create community posts that expand on interesting points. Pitch sponsors on similar topics because you have proof of audience interest. Script repurposing accelerates content creation while maintaining quality. Your best-performing scripts can become templates for similar videos, lead magnets for email capture, or outlines for paid products. This approach maximizes the value of your research and writing effort. Thumbnail and title testing becomes systematic when you repurpose successful elements. If a particular thumbnail style works well, create variations for similar content. If certain title structures generate high CTR, adapt them for related topics. The goal is building a content library that works together to establish authority and attract opportunities. Each piece should reinforce your positioning while serving multiple strategic purposes. The feedback loop that never stops. The creators who maintain their growth momentum understand that optimization is never finished. Audience preferences evolve, platform algorithms change, and new competitors enter every niche. The channels that stay ahead are those that never stop learning and adapting. Weekly postmortems create systematic learning from every upload. Spend 15 minutes analyzing each video's performance, identifying what worked and what didn't, and planning improvements for future content. This discipline compounds into significant competitive advantages over time. Hypothesis-driven testing accelerates improvement by focusing experiments on specific theories about what drives performance. Instead of random changes, test specific ideas like shorter intros improve retention or numbered titles increase CTR. This approach generates actionable insights faster. Documentation of learnings creates institutional knowledge that survives team changes and memory lapses. Maintain a running document of what you've discovered about your audience, what content performs best, and what approaches to avoid. This knowledge base becomes increasingly valuable as you scale. The most successful creators treat their channels like laboratories where every upload is an experiment designed to teach them something valuable about their audience and their craft. This scientific approach to content creation separates the channels that plateau from those that continue growing year after year. But even perfect optimization means nothing if you can't maintain momentum when challenges arise. The final chapter reveals the mindset shifts and systems that separate creators who build lasting success from those who burn out when the initial excitement fades. Chapter 9, Keep Going. You now possess something that 99% of creators never develop, a complete system for building a profitable, faceless YouTube channel. Not just tactics or hacks, but a comprehensive framework that transforms scattered effort into compounding results. The question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you'll actually implement it. This final chapter is your momentum lock-in. We'll connect every piece you've learned into a unified strategy that guides your next 12 months. You'll leave with a specific action to take today, a milestone to hit this month, and a vision that's actually achievable without burning out. But first, let's crystallize exactly what you've gained and why it matters more than you might realize. The complete framework you now control. 8 chapters ago, you were probably overwhelmed by the complexity of YouTube success. Positioning seemed abstract, content creation felt random, and monetization looked like a distant dream. Now you understand that success follows predictable patterns that can be systematized and scaled. Your positioning power gives you strategic clarity that most creators never achieve. You know how to choose a lane you can dominate, craft a promise that cuts through noise, and differentiate yourself in crowded markets. This isn't just about picking a niche. It's about owning a problem so completely that viewers can't imagine getting that solution anywhere else. Your content system transforms creative chaos into predictable output. You understand how to design series that build habits, engineer hooks that hold attention, and structure stories that satisfy viewers. You know why consistency beats brilliance and how to plan content that matches your capacity while serving your audience. Your click magnet skills turn packaging from guesswork into science. You can write titles that combine curiosity with desire, design thumbnails that stop the scroll, and craft intros that validate the click. You understand why the first 30 seconds determine everything and how to make them count. Your production machine eliminates the bottlenecks that kill momentum. You know how to build workflows that scale, choose between human and AI voice strategically, and maintain quality while increasing output. You understand that systems beat talent and documentation beats memory. Your policy armor protects the business you're building. You know how to use others' content transformatively, document your originality proactively, and handle reviews professionally. You understand that compliance isn't about following rules, it's about building trust signals that platforms reward. Your money maps turn attention into income across multiple streams. You know how to reach YPP efficiently, choose affiliates that build trust, attract sponsors early, and seed products from existing work. You understand that diversification isn't just risk management, it's revenue multiplication. Your scale engine converts scattered wins into systematic growth. You know which metrics matter, how to run improvement loops, and when to double down versus when to pivot. You understand that data beats opinion and iteration beats perfection. The power you've unlocked. What you've learned goes far beyond YouTube tactics. You've developed the ability to build media assets that generate income while you sleep. You can create content that attracts opportunities instead of chasing them. You can build systems that work without your constant involvement. You control throughput and quality in ways that seemed impossible before. Your systems convert time into assets that compound over years. Your SOPs make delegation safe and scaling predictable. Your data turns anxiety into action and guesswork into strategy. You control opportunity in a way that transforms your relationship with work. Instead of hoping sponsors will notice you, you build authority that makes them seek you out. Instead of guessing what products to create, you let audience demand guide development. Instead of random partnerships, you attract collaborations that align with your promise. This control extends beyond your channel into every area of your life. The systematic thinking you've developed applies to any project or business. The feedback loops you've learned accelerate improvement in any skill. The documentation habits you've built protect knowledge and enable growth. The life changes that follow. Building a successful faceless channel doesn't just change your income, it changes how you live. The predictable routines you've established reduce stress at home because work becomes contained and manageable. No more emergency all-nighters or weekend scrambles to meet deadlines. Your boundaries become clear and respected because your systems handle the urgent while you focus on the important. Work stops when your systems keep running, giving you genuine time off without guilt or anxiety about falling behind. Better cash flow eases tensions that you might not have even realized were affecting your relationships. Bills get covered by recurring streams instead of feast or famine cycles. You can save for bigger goals and invest in experiences that matter. Most importantly, you can be present with the people you care about because you're not constantly worried about money. The confidence that comes from building something valuable and sustainable changes how you show up in the world. You're not just consuming content or hoping for breaks, you're creating value and building assets. This shift from consumer to creator affects every interaction and opportunity. The new capabilities you've gained. You can now publish weekly without chaos because you have a pipeline that never runs dry. Your content calendar extends weeks into the future, your team knows the playbook, and your systems handle the details. Publishing becomes routine instead of heroic. You can defend and grow monetization because you understand the rules and build compliance into your process. Policy reviews become formalities instead of nightmares. Sponsors arrive on schedule because you've built the authority and systems that attract them. Your first product ships and improves because you've validated demand before building. You can scale without losing quality because you've built the infrastructure that supports growth. Your hiring process identifies talent, your training systems maintain standards, and your feedback loops catch problems early. Growth becomes sustainable instead of chaotic. These capabilities compound over time as your systems improve and your expertise deepens. What feels challenging today becomes automatic tomorrow. What requires conscious effort now becomes unconscious competence later. The compounding effect that changes everything. The most powerful aspect of what you've learned is how it compounds. Mastery builds through repetition with feedback, creating automaticity that makes results easier to achieve over time. Your decisions become defaults, your taste sharpens, and your execution improves. The positive feedback loops you've established create exponential improvement. Better packaging drives more reach funds higher quality boosts retention, better retention attracts sponsors, sponsor revenue funds team growth enables more content builds more authority, the cycle accelerates itself. Your content library becomes a magnet for higher value viewers who appreciate quality and are willing to pay for solutions. Your revenue per hour worked rises as your systems handle more of the routine tasks and you focus on high-leverage activities. The micro improvements you make each week stack into macro wins that transform your channel and your life. Small gains in CTR, retention, and monetization multiply over months and years into results that seem impossible from today's vantage point. Your first move starts today. All of this potential means nothing without action. Your first move is deceptively simple but absolutely crucial. Write your one-sentence about promise today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. This single sentence will guide every decision you make for the next year. Use the formula you learned. I help specific audience achieve specific result using unique mechanism without common pain point. Make it crisp, ownable, and memorable. Post it on your banner, save it in your notes, and use it to reject off-brand ideas. Next, outline 5 videos that deliver on this promise. Don't overthink this. Just brainstorm 5 topics that would genuinely help your target audience. For the first video, draft 10 different titles exploring different angles and emotional triggers. Pick the strongest one and storyboard 3 thumbnail concepts. Script the hook for your first video with obsessive attention to the first 30 seconds. Include a clear promise, immediate proof, and a roadmap for delivery. Record the intro and commit to publishing within 7 days. This deadline forces action and prevents perfectionist paralysis. The mindset that sustains success. You don't need permission to start building the channel and life you want. You need momentum. The creators who win aren't the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who ship consistently, learn systematically, and iterate relentlessly. Winners act while pretenders wait for perfect conditions that never come. They understand that done is better than perfect and that feedback beats planning. They ship small, learn fast, and improve constantly. Your future self is watching your decisions today. Will you be someone who read a book about YouTube success or someone who built YouTube success? Will you be someone who knew what to do or someone who did what they knew? The brave, boring work of building systems and publishing consistently isn't glamorous, but it's what separates creators who build lasting success from those who chase viral moments. One promise, one hook, one video at a time. Keep the loop clean. Value, policy, packaging. Start now, not later. Now. The ultimate payoff. Here's what most people don't understand about building a successful faceless YouTube channel. You're not just creating content. You're building a machine that generates freedom. Every system you implement, every process you document, every feedback loop you establish moves you closer to a life where your income isn't tied to your hours. The channel you build today becomes the foundation for opportunities you can't even imagine yet. Speaking engagements, book deals, consulting offers, partnership opportunities, acquisition interest. All of these flow naturally from the authority and systems you're building now. But the real payoff isn't financial. It's the person you become in the process. Building something valuable from nothing changes you. Solving problems for thousands of people develops empathy and insight. Creating systems that work without you builds confidence and capability that extends far beyond YouTube. You're not just learning to make videos, you're learning to think systematically, execute consistently, and improve continuously. These skills compound into every area of your life, making you more effective at everything you touch. The faceless channel you build becomes a leverage asset that amplifies your impact and expands your options. It works while you sleep, grows while you're away, and creates opportunities while you focus on other priorities. Most importantly, you're building proof that you can create value in the world. In an economy where attention is the scarcest resource, your ability to capture and hold that attention while delivering genuine value is perhaps the most important skill you can develop. The systems you've learned don't just apply to YouTube, they apply to any media business, any content platform, any audience-building effort. You now have the framework to succeed wherever attention can be monetized. Your journey starts with a single video, but it leads to a life of strategic calm, compounding freedom, and the quiet confidence that comes from building something that matters. The only question left is, when do you begin? The answer, if you're serious about changing your life, is right now.